Hey guys, welcome back to SoCal Lan 3. Special thanks to I think it was Howie's Game Shack that sponsored this specifically. They went out and made their facilities open and available. So special thanks to them. 1 o'clock position we have Deuce. At the 10 o'clock position approximately we have Day 9 in orange. Double check that. Go over the map really fast because I can. Waha, I have control. Make some people sick here. Anyway, this is Othello, and you've got the map artifact, and this is kind of the key feature of it, is these ramps above almost every expansion. Really effective for storm drops, really effective specifically for Terran and tanks, things like that. Usually Terran will be filled in on this map. But basically every expansion has a nice ramp area up above it, where, yeah, basically they, as you can see, things can get shelled or hit, get that mischance advantage. This base, they hit on the main. It doesn't look like the mineral expansions at the 6 and 12 o'clock location seems to be the only areas where, and even there, you can kind of get behind this wall, and then the resupply route, or I should say the attack route, tends to be a little bit less advantageous. Anyway, so Deuce putting up a pretty good fight game round 1, I thought, but Deuce, just a very creative build, ended up winning out economically in the end. From what I'm gauging of Deuce thus far, is he seems to be a little bit more of an economics type player. He's still very good. Day 9, and I think he's going to give Day 9 a run for his money on a map like this. I haven't seen a lot of Terran versus Protoss, but we'll see down the line. Day 9, in the meantime, it looks like he's going to go for I'm going to assume a 12 hatch. It's a 4-player map. Looks like there's additional drones being produced, and he would have already had a drone in position to put down that spawning pool. We'll see how good Deuce is denying this additional hatchery. Getting a little too far away, pushing back up. Yeah, still a little too far away. Backed off just a little bit off miscue, so that hatchery is going to go down. So Day 9 going to send this overlord to the bottom left-hand corner. He's not going to get the scout on Deuce's base. Deuce is going to have the spot on his base, however. Now the question is, what does Day do from this stage? We've seen what's been very popular versus Zerg players, Protoss versus Zerg. Reverse that, Zerg versus Protoss, there I said it right, has been to, instead of going, is harvesting gas, instead of going for a speed upgrade, going for more of a, an additional Zerglings. You produce additional Zerglings, take down that probe scout, and then go quickly to layer with the gas that you saved. And additionally also 4 or 5 hatch Hydrolurk has been very, very popular, specifically dealing with the Bisu build. Well, specifically dealing with the fast expansion, not necessarily the Bisu build. I know people get really sticklered about the Dark Templar and Corsair. They're just good at handling Zerg players. And essentially Protoss end up getting contained, usually around their second base. Sometimes they get limited to the third base at that stage, depending. They just kind of end up isolated in. Anyway, Forge going up, Nexus is also going up. Looks like Deuce does have his Nexus going up. He's going to be in pretty good economic position. Drones being transferred, and there you go. Shows the experience of Day 9. Getting that probe transfer just in time. In the meantime, looks like he's being really sneaky here. He's going to go for a hatchery in the dark at a far location. Just going to, because it is a large map, he's just going to assume that Deuce isn't going to do any scouting here. That Deuce is going to be held back. One of the cannons being canceled on his front door. It looks like in the meantime, gateway also being produced. Pylons, a couple pylons, and finally the gas in the backfield. Gas also going up for Day 9 here. So he's just going to go in the dark, put down an additional hatchery, and take the secondary of it. And this is kind of a savior-esque build, a very savior-esque build, where you just take your third base essentially. But instead of going for the Mutalisks, you in fact go for, I guess, Hydralisks would be in this case. Because I think Day 9 would have been harvesting gas a little bit sooner than this if he was in fact going for Mutalisks. But, you know, what do I know? Anyway, Zergling going to come up, try to get that probe scout out of the way. Every once in a while, I just want to see the Protoss just steal gas, because why not? Just be a dick. And just going to check out that third base. So you can see Deuce is just kind of looking for that third base. He's not seeing it. He's wondering. He's got to know that there's a third base out in the field at this stage, because he's not seeing any additional tech. He's not seeing a lot of Zerglings being produced at this stage. He's seeing the tech to layer. So he might be thinking that this is a quick two base. Cheese build here, but he's got to assume that it's not, just because of the troops that are on the ground. And we'll see if he continues, and we'll see how he reacts actually as a result. So he's sending a single Zealot out there, just a single Zergling hanging out there in the backfield. It looks like Day 9's going to get a pretty good spot in the backfield. Cybernetics cores up. One gas mining, second gas isn't quite mining yet. Third base, wow, drones being transferred from up above. Drones being transferred to this third base down below. The question is will Deuce spot it out? Does he in fact know? Honestly, I'm not inside of his head. I've got to assume an inkling he does know, though. Layers going up, Hydralistan also going up in the backfield for Deuce. Looks like this probe scout. This is going to be pretty key, too, is whether this probe scout's going to in fact see this Hydralisk den, because seeing this Hydralisk den, he'll know the differentiator. So he's going to in fact see that Hydralistan as well as that layer. So expecting some sort of lurker tech at this stage, rather than a 2-hatch Hydralisk build. So 2-hatch Hydralisks rushes are generally I don't know, a little off timing for that. And it looks, I gotta assume that Deuce is a good enough player at this stage to know the difference here. Kind of rambling on because it's a little less action on this game, a little bit more economic. Circling speed is being upgraded in the meantime. There's the lurker tech now as well. And wow, taking another base on the inside corner. Expected that, but not this early. Just going really brunt economics. Like you can even tell it's so 42 psi versus 35 psi, but most of his resources have gone on the probe getting killed there. His infrastructure is 4 hatcheries, just a ton of drones here. Pretty good drone saturation at the secondary, really good drone saturation at the main. Obviously, this base still going up, but as you can see, a decent drone saturation, additional gas being put down. So Day 9 is going to be in a really good output situation. 4 bases to 2 momentarily. Weapons 1 is being upgraded. Robotics facility already up, expecting the quick lurker contained. So this is a little bit in reaction to lurkers. Also, a Templar archives going up, and well, I'm not sure if that's for Psystorm, maybe a Dark Templar drop alongside. I don't see that's the observatory right now, so I assume it's just for some High Templar alongside. No speed upgrade on the Zealots, which surprises me at this stage. I guess wanted to spend gas on the observatory first, and hitting a little bit of Psycap, just a couple Zerglings out front, and for a second there I thought there was a scout coming down this direction, but now Hydralisk's in position, Sultan Colony as well. Day 9 in a very good economic position, has the 4 bases up, and it looks like he's getting a Spire up as well in the backfield, so going to use that, of course, for the observer sniping when he starts pushing up with the lurkers whenever he decides to do so, probably around the time the third base is going up, although he essentially has map control at this stage. Still some Zerglings just kind of camping out front. Not a lot of forces on the opposite side, but really good drone saturation, I have to say. So 3 Zealots, and just the Zealot's going to push out with that Dragoon a little bit. The Zerglings are in fact going to back off, open up that